Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside, and this month's chat, we really can't call it a porch chat anymore because we've been moving around.
We keep moving.
We keep moving. So we do these chats about once a month to kind of just a very informal, non-scripted chit chat between Jerry and I, who forgot to turn off his cell phone, so he's going to silence that right quick for us. And we do these because to give you just kind of updates on how things are going here at the nursery, all the different projects that are going on, and then we take time to do questions and answers from you, our sweet viewers. So we try to pick questions that we see kind of repeated a few times, so we know that more than one person has that question, and so we address that and talk about all the fun things that are going on.
Yeah.
So what are some of the fun things going on? Like, where are we and what are we doing?
Yeah, where are we and what are we doing? And
I ask myself that
where are we
multiple times a day.
headed? There's multiple things going on at one time, folks. We have a lot of things going on. We're trying to ship you your products, take care of you at the nursery at the same time, trying to put together the signature garden, which is going well. We've got that. There was a video out. I think we had some questions on that, but there was a video out last week. If you haven't seen it, it's there for you to check out. Here we're standing in the Annex building. There have been questions on this quite a bit as to, because we talked about the potting machine going into the new greenhouse. The guys are down there working on the greenhouse right now. They maybe plan on putting the plastic on. So it just depends on if it's windy later on tonight or something like that, then they wouldn't be able to do it. I hear the wind blowing right now. So anyway, yes, our potting machine has wheels. So we're able to move that thing around, and it's inside the annex right now. But this building primary's focus is the e-commerce side of the business, and
we built it and designed it for that fact.
We did, yeah. It's like we're standing right here, right now. This is like our fulfillment area for Felco items, and t-shirts are right to my right, and sweatshirts and all that jazz. So that's what it's for, but we still use it for production in the beginning, fill up these two greenhouses that are connected to it. We're going to wheel it out. It's going to go to the new greenhouse, and then we're going to fill it up. And then we'll work our way out if we have to and bring the potting machine out. Then we have another location for it to go for the rest of that season. So it's an efficient way to run it. Just as we have learned through multiple different people we've talked to that have spent like thousands and thousands of dollars for consultants to come in, I think. And this is one of the lean practices is being able to put your equipment in the locations instead of having one central place, and then you have to then shuffle everything out, because it stayed in its one central place this year, and then we had to feed the shrub lot, and that was a time consuming. It was very hard. It would have been a little bit better with conveyor belts, but if we had been able to get it closer to the shrub lot, then
it would have been much more efficient.
Much more efficient.
We wasted a lot of time in transportation.
Shut down, that kind of thing. And so there's just no need for extra people at that point if you can get it to that location. But anyway, the annex is for e-commerce shipping, right? And so we've been very successful with the Felco products going out of here. We've got a new bundle coming up. You may see that the first bundle is sold out right now, so we just have to change that around, and we're going to have a new bundle.
Yep.
And we time.
There's some questions on some of that stuff, but of course we've got some new things that are being added. So we're constantly adding things, especially like right now, like the hard goods, right? So instead, not a plant, hard goods that will be added to that all the way up through, and then in the coming weeks. So there's constantly going to be things added to that. Yeah. And speaking of plants, what is the deal that's going to be coming up soon for Plants Online?
The deal for Plants Online?
Yeah. What are we going to be doing next?
As far as pre-sales, pre-selling is coming up. I might be running a deal. I don't know.
No, I meant the deal as far as like, what's the 411, the info, the download.
Yeah, the info
What's going
is
on?
be paying attention because with the current website that you see right now is in the process of being changed. And that's going to help us in many different ways. And a lot of that to be able to provide a better product to you and a more efficient customer service to you. And then also we're going to have our big pre-sale coming up here
Right.
soon. So you need to start thinking about your spring gardens. So think about how you're going to design them and what you want, and that way you'll be able to get the products that you want when we will launch our pre-sale. So that way it goes out, here
Right, so you're
early
thinking
on.
about your annuals, your perennials, your shrubs, because when we do that pre-sale for spring of 2024, so let's say that one more time, this will be a pre-sale that will ship in spring of 2024.
Yeah, for what I really do appreciate all the folks that were really patient in understanding about a pre-sale and to understand, especially this first time around, that the pre-sale was just a way to get the business going, the online business, and that those people that saw that, understood it from the videos, really patient, and most of all of you have gotten your plants. But for some reason we're human. We don't read everything, we don't pay attention to everything, and then we start getting lots of emails. Where are my plants? Where are my plants? It's a pre-sale. So that when that starts happening, that just distracts from our staff on being able to take care of customers. So it's important that you read your terms and conditions, that you read what you're getting ready to get into, and it is a pre-sale. But that helps for spring because that lets us know that we need to get out 500 bubble gums or whatever
Right,
it
it helps
is.
us to see trends too, right?
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and let's say when you launch the pre-sale, whenever that may be, that this particular plant is super, super popular. So maybe it's a new introduction or it's this long awaited shrub or perennial, whatever it may be, right? And so we can see those trends. This plant is selling really fast and really hot. We need to order more so that we can keep up with demand, as the season progresses. So it helps us with our numbers and that we can make sure that we have enough of the plants that you sweet people want and that we can send out to you when it is appropriate for your growing zone. And that's basically, from my understanding, how we will ship them is based on growing zones.
Based on growing zone, because we know that growing zone is ready to go in March or April or May or.
So obviously we start with the warmer zones and we work our way to the cooler zones.
We work our way up, and it will work. Something I was thinking about.
We start thinking about that. So we always talk about your garden journal. You're in your garden journal. You're making notes. You really like this plant when you saw this plant. Make a note of that because obviously, as we know, because so much of our shopping now, like when I say us, is like as a society, is online. And whenever you can order more at one time, it does it saves on shipping. And so if you can do, I'm not saying you can't do multiple orders, you absolutely can, but if you can try, and this is preaching to the choir here, try to get your main order all together. That way it just makes the most cost efficient for you, the consumer.
Yeah. We want to get your plants there safe. We do not want to send you bad plants. We don't want plants to get torn up by UPS, but things happen. I do not need emotional emails. We're not the only person that deals with damage, or you're not the only person that deals with damage, or whatever it may say. These things happen. These things can happen to anyone, any company. We're using some of the same practices that all the big people are using. So I just need to know what has happened. You need to be able to take direction from us. We are the plant people. We understand the plants. I had a lady send in a picture just the other day. It was nothing fine. She was just curious about it. Well, these are shrubs that have gone out, and it was a sweet shrub, so it's gotten cold here and it started to lose its leaves. There's nothing wrong with that plant. It just needs to be planted. It's dormant and it's on its way. Take our advice. We are the growers. We know what we're talking about with those plants.
We're not trying to swindle you in any way. We're not trying.
We do get accused for certain things.
We do, and and I think if you're a follower of Gardening with Creekside, I think you know our integrity and our honesty, and if we say a plant's going to be okay, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and I really got to stop talking about it. So
Jerry gets a little fired up about these things sometimes.
So let's go on to the questions.
Let's go on to the questions. Before we launch into the questions, I do want to say some things. As far as a ton of you are following us on YouTube, because that, of course, is our main platform for getting these videos out. That's our biggest platform. One, if you have not already subscribed, we would love for you to subscribe. Y'all are fantastic in supporting us, and so we so desperately appreciate all of your great support. We are going to be launching here very, very soon. We've already started, and we haven't really talked about it. The memberships.
Yeah, memberships, join button.
Yes. So the memberships, this is the thing that YouTube has, right? So memberships are where you pay a monthly fee and you get special perks beyond the videos. So if you enjoy our videos and we watch our videos, great. Just know if you understand memberships, they're going to be coming soon, and we're going to talk about that more. But that's just another level of supporting us as creators and content, and that you can support us, that you get also some special perks in with that. So just know that memberships are coming very, very soon. If you understand memberships, then you can go ahead and explore that a little bit on our channel. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, don't worry, nothing's going to change for you, and we're going to go into more detail later.
Yeah, that's the join button. The subscribe button is the free button.
Yes,
that
subscribe is free.
We did have that just last week, the other week with a customer.
Yeah, a great, faithful local customer, and she said,
We've known her forever.
Known her forever, and was wonderful. She said, I just get confused because subscribe, right? We always think, especially
newspaper.
Like newspaper, a magazine. You subscribe, right? And you have to pay for it. Subscribe on YouTube, completely free, absolutely free. So just wanted to clear that up a little bit and let you know that,
So
those are coming. All right.
we have some questions.
We have some questions, and I'm going to try to keep them content related here. We're talking about being here with shipping and all of the new fun stuff that we have and that we're offering. The latest offering that we have, and this question comes from Rachel Wren. She says, I love the tool belt. Great gift idea. Does it fit all body types? If you've watched our videos, you know that I wear a garden belt all the time, and that it has all my tools on it and everything. So we've partnered with the Wheeler Monroe, who is this husband-wife duo team in the mountains of North Carolina that make those belts. And we have a customized belt. So it has Creekside Nursery on it. So we just launched that, revealed that earlier this week. It is available on the website. But her question is, does it fit all body types? My belt, my garden belt, has an actual buckle, like what Jerry's wearing on his pants, right? A certain size. This is very adjustable because it has the double rings, and Jerry and I can both wear the same belt.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Jerry's hips are a little bit bigger than mine, so.
Yeah, you can set it at different.
So you can set it at different.
So it should work.
Absolutely, and it is very comfortable. And the belt is nice and long, so it depends on whatever shape and size you are. It will absolutely fit.
Yes.
All body types on that.
Yeah, we've already sold a few of those already.
We have, absolutely. All right, now one of the biggest things that we've recently done here is the signature garden.
Signature garden.
Proven Winners Signature Garden. And we've got a lot of questions based on either plants and or layout, or what is the Proven Winners Signature Garden. So we're going to start with...
Yeah, if you go to Proven Winners YouTube channel, Jenny has a video on there that really describes the signature garden and what it is.
Yeah, we'll link that.
So it's not on our channel, it's on Proven Winners YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. We'll link that so you can go check that out.
Yeah.
Jordan asked, did Proven Winners send out a layout plan for the signature garden, or did you guys have free reign?
We have free reign. Every one of them is different. Some of them, are just a bed,
Right.
It's just a spot they've chosen at a golf resort to be all Proven Winner plants. Where ours is more like a garden. It's like eventually more like a botanical style garden that you're going to enter into, and it's just that is all it is. You know, it's a nice garden with all the proven winter plants, because that's proven winter signature garden, so it has to have the majority of all of it.
Right. So they do give you complete free reign on how you want to design your flower bed, your signature garden rather, I'm sorry, and the scale of it. The only really requirement on it is that proven winter plants are prominently displayed.
Yeah, prominently displayed, and we're able to have like educational events or different things, and that gives the opportunity to talk about those plants and talk about how to take care of them, how to create the proper soil, you know, because soil is a big deal, the right, you know, mixture of compost and clay and all that, you know, all that goes into having a nice garden.
Right.
You know, everything that we try to teach through our videos is displayed in that garden.
And then Taylor says, there's so much invested in the signature garden. Haven't you said Proven Winners isn't supplying the plants or paying you to add the garden? How does one recoup the expense?
So we have been fortunate that we grow our own plants. I don't know about the other gardens. I mean, a lot of them are in resorts. They have to purchase the plants for those gardens. So we have had in a good spot since we are a grower. So we're like one of the only growers, retailers, landscape designers that has a signature garden in the country. So that is just, you know.
Right. And we do have a great working relationship with Proven Winners, and they,
because
at the end of the season, will send us plants.
Yeah, depending on, because it's like new stuff they're wanting us to trial here or that. So those things are going into the garden, you know, along with things that we have invested in, like the sprinter boxwoods that came in that, you know, and the little lime punch, we were wanting a bigger plant at that time. So,
right.
Yeah.
But as far as like recouping the expense, I mean, we see it as an investment in our land and our property. And yes, I mean, it does cost us because of all the infrastructure and the time and the labor and the resources and all those different things that it costs to put in there. But we really do see it as an investment and being a good steward of the property that we have been entrusted to, and to take care of it. And right, it's going to bring people to us. So it's going to bring, and then hopefully they'll say, oh gosh, I sure do love that hydrangea. Do you have that hydrangea? Well, yes, I do. It's right over here. Come on over. I'll show you where it is.
Proven Winners is supposed to market the garden.
Right.
You know, they're supposed to be responsible for that. And that helps.
It sure does.
Yeah.
It sure does. Sandy asks, she says, so fun to see all the progress on the signature gardens. Question, where does all your water come from? Wells are my guess.
Yeah, wells, you're correct. Wells.
Yep. So we're out in the country. We're out in the county. We don't have city water or anything like that. Yes, we have a creek. Yes, we have a pond, but we like taking our nice, clean well water. And
we have a very neutral water, which is excellent for growing, and it doesn't interfere with our fertilizers or anything that we're doing.
Yep.
Some people are just not that way. They would rather have the city water.
Right, exactly. Going on with that water theme, Julie says, hi Jenny, can you explain your thoughts on choosing above ground sprinklers in lieu of drip? Can't wait to see the garden.
Yeah, so we were looking at all of that many times, sub-irrigation.
We went through every kind of irrigation possibility in our brain.
We did. So the garden, this particular spot in the garden, which is the formal spot that we call it, has grass pathways and has beds. You know, so it became much more efficient money-wise and the water-wise to do overhead for that spot. The berm spot that we just planted in the video from last week is drip. So it just made sense to do the drip there. And then anywhere else, I'm thinking of another spot that's going to end up being planted. It will probably need some drip there. But it was just an easy way to take care of the turf. We looked at sub-irrigation for the turf. It was just too expensive.
Well, and then there's a practical side of it too, because right, being that signature garden, we're going to have in that formal space will be shrubs, perennials, and annuals. And annuals obviously are going to be taken in and out multiple times
True.
a year. And when you have drip irrigation, you have to be careful because it can easily get cut, punctured. I mean, we even have animals, not Brenna, but like wild animals that come and sense the water, and they'll actually chew into the lines. They're not going to do that with the sprinklers. But it's even from just a practical standpoint of it makes planting so much easier because you don't have to worry about, oh, is there a line here? Am I going to move it? Or is the dripper close to the root ball of this plant? So that
there will be
standpoint.
changes throughout. That may be a little different because we are a grower retailer, that we're going to be swapping the plants out a good bit, and it just makes it much easier.
Right. One more going on with the water. This is Higgins Angel. So the drip line you guys put near the sprinters and hydrangeas, does that line have holes every 18 inches, or do you put individual emitters to each bush?
Yes, every 18 inches.
Yes, I forgot to mention that in the video. So thank you for asking. That's a great question. They are every 18 inches.
It's like a half gallon per hour or something like that.
Something like that. Yep. And then because in that raised bed berm area, that's where we planted the sprinters first, and then the little lime panicle hydrangeas. And Sandy asked, is there any plans to shear the boxwoods into a hedge later? Yes, that's absolutely the plan.
And
So
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we planted those sprinter boxwoods 2 feet on center in a nice straight line. The sprinter boxwoods can be maintained anywhere between 2 to 4 feet tall and wide, and we wanted to put them 2 feet on center. That way, as they grow, we will keep them trimmed and to form a nice hedge. Kind of the same thing with the little lime punches, although we won't like prune them into a hedge. We space them so that they will grow into each other and form a natural hedge. So that's definitely going to be a more formal lined area in that bed.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely. All right. Now, I think that is all the questions on
The garden.
the signature garden. Yes, I'm just going through here. Okay. So then we're going to move up because we have the signature garden going on. And then we have the new production greenhouse happening. And so there was some questions on that. And because our production facilities are at a completely different they're on our property, but they're not connected to the retail garden center. A lot of times people will come to the garden center and like, oh, well, I was hoping to see production. 2 totally different areas. So when we were talking about the new production greenhouse, I mentioned that this is separate facilities and yeah. So Shirley said, are you going to put up a fence to keep people out of the production area? Shirley, I hope not. I hope just people listening, because if you know that production's up here, then that means you watch these videos. And if you watch these videos, hopefully that means that you're respectful enough not to just go, oh, well, I know I'm not supposed to go up there. I'm just going to do it anyway, just because I'm being nosy and go up there. So
Yeah.
there is no plan on putting a fence.
No plan to put on a fence, and sometimes when we're open, we kind of put some cones in the road, because there are some people that make a mistake.
Right.
They get confused on their way out, even though they know they came through the gate, but then they turn left and end up out here in no man's land in production.
Right.
So that was we just can't have that happening. So we'll do that. And we're not going to put a fence up.
No.
There's no need for a fence.
Hopefully common sense shall prevail.
Yeah.
You come through
Or
the gate.
Jackson will just chase you down in one of the machines.
He will. He loves getting in the machine and chasing some people down and politely correcting their misdirectionals.
Misdirection.
Absolutely.
They just kind of guide everybody back in the
Everybody
other direction.
You go straight through the gate, you leave straight through the
Yeah.
gate. Pretty simple.
fun.
Yes. Never boring around here. Lindy's says, love seeing these updates on production. How would you clean the gutters between the houses? Is there a special tool? So this too is my question for Jerry, because not only it's great because production is out in the middle of nowhere, but we do have a lot of hardwood trees around us. And in fact, here in the annex, pretty soon the acorns are going to start falling, and it sounds like
They've already started doing that.
it sounds like you're being bombed.
Yeah.
So how are we going to keep the gutters clean? Because it is important, as we found out last year in the retail garden center.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's a really large gutter, and you can get in that gutter and just you can clean them out.
But how do you get up there?
Ladder. Yeah.
And you just walk it?
Yeah. Just walk it. Yeah.
So that's going to be a video?
Yeah. Sure. There was
Jerry,
really like
Jerry cleans the gutters.
the other one. It was really only the back end of the house where it just kind of got clogged up, where it's supposed to come out. These gutters are actually open, so they don't have this hole to go through with the leaves. So there is just probably just going to flow out. If we get big rain, if we ever get rain again, you know, we've flip-flopped. There's arid places in the United States that are getting rain, and we're not. So we haven't had any kind of substantial rain. We're really, really dry right now.
And that's on the weather, that we are right on the border of a severe drought.
Yeah.
We're definitely in a moderate drought, but we're right on the edge of a severe
Yeah,
drought.
and it's happened over the years from time to time. I can remember as a kid growing up and having drought times like this, and had to have water restrictions on lawns and
Okay. So
nothing,
going back,
nothing new.
Going back to the gutters, Dariah wants to know, do you ever get hurt?
It's been a while, thank goodness.
But generally, no, we
Yeah.
don't. I mean, we get bumps and bruises, right?
Just get hurt from the
A
other than
yellow
that.
jacket sting, or
Yeah, and then the landscape job back in January, whenever that was, that was probably
that was February.
it was
No.
right before Valentine's Day, so it was like the end of January.
End of January,
Yeah.
right before we went on vacation. Yeah, so no, as a general rule, we really
We
don't
really
get,
don't,
get
yeah.
hurt. I mean, yeah, you get little cuts and scrapes, and praise the Lord. I mean, clearly we're very active people. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe the more you move, the
Yeah, I
maybe
think
I don't know.
maybe so.
I don't know. All right, so then we're going to switch back just a little bit back to the online store. I forgot these two questions, so we're going to go. And we've already kind of talked about it. We're going to hit them again because never hurts to go over something again. Stacy asked, this was just a couple weeks ago, did I hear correctly? You're going to have online orders this coming spring. Hope you have plants for my zone 8A Dallas, Texas area. Yes. Need plants that can take Texas heat.
Yes.
Absolutely. So yes, so we will be shipping out annuals, perennials, shrubs, and again, we'll start with the warm zones and we'll work our way to the cooler zones, but
And
we
it's
will
not
have...
too late. In the comments of this video,
Oh yeah.
throw some of your ideas that you would like to see proven winter annuals or proven winter perennials in the store.
Yeah.
So send us in the comments of this video those plants that you were looking for the most, and maybe you can help us, and we're missing something. We have the majority of everything in there.
Right. And then piggybacking on with that, Kristen says, have you considered setting up your store website to reserve plants that you sell for the spring, like your phenomenal lavender? So I'm thinking what you're asking
That's
is like
the pre-sale.
The pre-sale, which yes, we're going to do the pre-sale.
And we have
And yes, so like Kristen was asking about the phenomenal lavender. I absolutely love and adore phenomenal lavender because it does so well for us in our hot, humid environment. So that is like, so if you're like Kristen and you're asking, will you have phenomenal lavender, or please sell phenomenal lavender, or whatever it may be that you want us to do, like Jerry said, put those in the comments and we will absolutely.
Yeah, because perennials are a little different than annuals. Is that you just can't like turn that thing around and get a new cutting and get it growing. Like where we can actually, most of the time get more petunias of some sort, and grow them. So if we were to sell through everything we had, then there's a possibility we can grow more. Perennials take a little bit longer in the propagation, and rooting and all that. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because so we'll start.
So it will be important, if you're wanting perennials to get the pre-sale.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that's the last
Last
question.
little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Got anything you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think I've said my piece, and
He's done, folks.
yeah.
Jerry said his piece and he's done.
Yeah, we're gonna go check on. One thing I would say is that we're running several different types of businesses. So sometimes Jenny will come on the garden nursery tour thing and talk about what we have at the nursery for sale for people local or people traveling through to buy a 3-gallon, 7-gallon, 15-gallon tree. And then we run specials. Those specials are not related to the online store. So the online store have its own specials. And especially if you right now go on there and give us the email, give us your cell phone, sign up for all the marketing, you're going to get specials that no one else is going to get. So make sure that you sign up for that.
And if you've already ordered from us, then you're automatically.
Yes.
And we're not, y'all, we're not selling your information.
No.
We're not holding on to your information. I'm not selling your cell phone number on the black market.
No.
Really? No, we're not. So don't worry that, you know, we're not going to hijack your email and do all this crazy
we
stuff.
talk through these things because these are things that come up. We deal with these problems, and they're just not true. So is this that we're talking about it, so that way there's maybe a broader number of people that hear it straight from us,
right?
And that everything's fine.
We just need a way to communicate with you.
Yeah.
So we need your email and or cell phone so we can text you things so that you can take advantage of the specials and the deals. Not that we're going to hound you and all that other stuff, but if you're a plant lover and you are interested in getting tips and plant recommendations and those, you know, online specials, then I have to be able to way to communicate with you somehow. And so that is, we have found not only us, but all, you know, different e-commerces across the board, emails and text messages work really, really well.
Email is the best way to communicate with any kind of e-commerce or your order is to orders@gardeningwithcreekside.com. If you're commenting in here or in here, it could get missed and it may not be taken care of. So if you have a problem or you have a concern, you want something, you know, maybe it's a
plant question.
You need to email orders@gardeningwithcreekside.com and it gets into the customer service team and they get it all taken care of.
Right.
So.
Because we try our very best to answer questions here on social media.
Jenny is doing 5 videos every week. Her responsibility is to be in front of this camera and creating beautiful content for you to be able to enjoy and learn from. She is not in the customer service side of those things. It's not that we don't hear about it, but it is, or handle it. But
a person, no matter who that person is, can only do so much.
Right. So it's very important. So you can get lost in these comments on YouTube.
Right.
We don't. That's not good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
anyway,
as always, we greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate all of your support and all your encouragement and everything that y'all have done to support Creekside Nursery, whether it's watching the videos or, you know, ordering or coming and seeing us or just saying a prayer for us. We'll take all the above. And so we greatly do appreciate all of your love and support. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.